Well, despite the poor relations over the last few years, Israel and Turkey have historic ties. Let's take a closer look. Well, for more on this, Galip Dalay joins us now. He's the research director at the Al Sharq Forum. Galip, good to see you again. Thank you for coming into the studio and talking to us. How damaging has the relations between Israel and Turkey? It's not been great for a few years. How damaging has that been economically for both countries?
Well, actually, interesting, the economically, I mean, despite the fact that the number of the tourists, particularly from Israel to Turkey, has dropped dramatically in the aftermath of the Mavi Marmara flotilla, but nevertheless the overall economic picture was not that dismal. Actually, the level of the economy was quite steady as it was, and in some years actually it has increased a year, and that is very much a clear indication of when you have two states, well institutionalized and well substantiated two states, being able to differentiate between the political and economic aspect of their relation. That shows, like, how much the level of the relation between Turkey and Israel was developed and compartmentalized. So when you have a very harsh political bickering, when you have a quite tense political climate in the relation, on the other hand, economically, the level of the relation was not that bad, actually, putting aside the tourism file, because the tourism was a particular file, and many in Israel, from the officials to the non-official lines, has called upon the Israeli citizen not to take their vacation in Turkey. Previously, Turkey was one of the top destinations for the Israelis. So in this regard, yes, the tourism file has been damaged very significantly and severely, but the overall economic picture was not that dismal. So
what is likely to come from this meeting? Is it purely a show of friendship to try and encourage tourism, or will there be things signed, tangible things?
Well, this meeting is important, but its significance and meaning should not be exaggerated. It is important because it is the first ministerial level visit from Turkey to Israel since the Mavi Marmara incident of 2010. So in this regard, in itself, this step in itself is important. But nevertheless, also we should be very careful. The one that is going to Israel today is not defense minister or not foreign minister. So it is a tourism minister, and for a very specific purposes, which is attending the opening ceremony of the Mediterranean Tourism Fair. So it is important as a gesture of goodwill, but it should not be exaggerated.
And I have to ask you, Galip, Israel is obviously in the news today with legalizing the settlements on Palestinian land. I'm sure that's a bone of contention between the Turkish and the Israeli government. Is that something that's likely to be discussed at this level today? Do you think that going to cause friction between the two? Well,
I don't think that this will be an issue of discussion between the tourism minister, because as far as I know, there will not be the meeting between the Minister of Tourism and the, let's say, Foreign Minister. So yes, there might be some chat about this issue, some discussion, but it will not be a major issue in this particular between these two ministers. But nevertheless, it will be a very important issue between Turkey and Israel, because there are a couple of factors that function as a brake factor on the Turkish-Israel relations. One of them is that Israel policy towards the Palestinians, towards Gaza, and yesterday, unfortunately, there has been an attack on Gaza as well too. This is another very inimical development for Turkish-Israel relations. And secondly, is the settlement enterprise. This will be also very much disfavored by Turkey.
Okay, Galip, unfortunately time has escaped us, but thank you very much, Galip Dalay.